Hello there. Thank you so much for finding time to join us today for another episode of the Dear Parent Show. My name is Nashami and I'm still the daughter of Wangara. I am glad that you always find time to join us. Asante sana, 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 sana. And thank you for everyone who is always watching and throwing in their comments, sharing this with your friends and your circles. Man, there are people who get to watch this because you shared. And so asante sana, sana, sana. Na kama kuna mtu haja subscribe bwana, because of why? Because why between a good show you are not subscribed bwana? Why? Please subscribe to the channel, have the notification bell on so that you are updated every time we upload episodes. And also, thank you so much. If you have not been watching all the episodes, man, ziko hapo kwa sababu yako na yangu. I go back, by the way, to watch some of these episodes. So I would say go back, watch episodes zenye hauja watch, be updated so that to flow. Ndio tusimention kitu ya episode fulani ndio like hizo ni gani. So ensure you're updated. That will be amazing. And it's an amazing day. This is a beautiful day. As always, man, the Apparent Show Day is just a good day. Tupende to spend it because, man, these conversations, they are top notch. Just the best. For me and even for you, I'm sure. So today I am honored to have an amazing lady. Just before we came on air, we were having conversations and I am excited because of just who she is and what she does. And I'm sure once you get to hear her, you will know some more about her. So today we're going to have an amazing one once again. So stay tuned and let's do this together. Let me introduce my guest and then we will pick it up from there. Sawa sawa. Amazing. Hi, Mommy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Guy, do you have dimples?
No, I don't.
Aziko.
Labda kwa umbali.
Ni kama na, okay, I have dimples, so I'm always quick to look for dimples in people. But you have a beautiful smile.
Thank you.
Hapo napo sidanganyi.
Asante.
Na si chocha.
Asante.
You have a cute smile that is warm.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
Asante.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Thank you.
It's good to have you here.
Nice to be here.
And thank you for accepting to be on the show.
Yes.
I am honored.
Asante.
So I want us to get to know you.
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
And everything and anything you'd wish to let us know about you.
Okay.
Yes.
So my name is Mugeci Gidaiga. Recently added Kagiri. I got married. Now it's been, we are in our second year. Wow.
Ooh.
Yes, so we're in our second year. Recently got married. I work for an organization called Tanari Trust. Tanari Trust is a trust under 5 Baptist churches. So we have Nairobi Baptist, Nairobi Chapel, Kileleshwa Covenant Community Church, Karen Community Church, and Buruburu Baptist Church. The aim of Tanari Trust is to empower young people and those who work with young people. So we have so many programs that we run. One is the one that we are really known for is the rites of passage experiences.
I know it, yes.
Yes, so and then we also have another one called CPR that deals with sex and sexuality among young people. So from primary, secondary, college students, we deal with that.
Amazing.
And we talk about leadership, we do mental health, we work with so many things that have to do with young people. On top of that, I am a daughter, yes, to one lovely woman, strong-willed woman called Sarah Amboi. I'm so grateful to her. And then I'm also a wife, I'm an auntie mom, yes. I am all those things, and I'm so glad to be here today to share about all that.
Are you that favorite auntie?
I hope so. I'm not so sure, but I hope so. Yes.
Okay. I know there are those aunties like me. I'm usually told mimi ni auntie mkali. Naambianga ni ukweli.
Lakini wacha nikuwe mkali, lakini nikusaidie kwa maisha.
Tough love muhimu.
Yes.
Amazing. So you've told me you said you're a daughter of an amazing, strong-willed woman.
Yes.
So tell me now about your family, your nuclear family.
My nuclear family. I grew up with my mom. My dad was around, not so present, but he is around. He is my friend. We talk from time to time. And my mom was the main parent in the family. I have also a sister. So we were just the two of us, the two girls, plus my mom mainly. She provided, she taught me how to be. Also, my nuclear family consists also of my uncles and aunties. They were there. My mom is the firstborn in a family of 11.
Oh, wow.
7 boys, 3 girls.
Ooh, okay.
Sorry, 4 girls. Yeah. So she also grew up with a strong mom and dad. I think that's where she gets her strength from. So it has been passed on down.
So has it been passed on to you?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has, and I'm so glad for it.
Oh, wow.
Because it has helped me to become the person that I am. And it has also helped me to, when I'm talking to young ladies, you know, it's easy for young ladies to feel like they need to get their strength from someone else. But also just telling them, start, number 1, God.
Yeah.
And number 2, from within yourself. So when you have a relationship with God, He helps to unfold who you are. He helps you to unfold who you are and who He created you to be. And in that, you get that strength. Isaiah says, in quietness and trust shall be your strength. So when you learn to walk with God in quietness, when you learn to listen to Him, when you learn to follow His instruction. Again, Romans says you can't read the word of God and then go out there and forget what it says. It's like someone who looks in a mirror
and forgets
how they look like. But you have to be a doer of the word. So as you do that word and trust what it says, then you get your strength. So from the family that I've come up with, my aunties, my uncles, my mom, it has really helped me to become the person that I am, and now to pour it out to the people I minister to.
And between you and your sister, are you the firstborn?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Yes,
tell me about being a firstborn. Huko na pressure. Firstborns tunawalemeanga.
Pressure ni mob. Unakuanga inaitangwa nini? What parent?
Deputy.
Deputy parent. Yes, you're the deputy parent. You're a lot of things to the people around you. I have never shared this. I think I've only shared it with my husband and partially with my mom. But there was a lot of pressure, my dad not being around. You're the person that your mom hangs on to. When she needs someone to talk to, you're the one there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
When my sister needs someone to talk to, so you're the one there. When things need to be fixed, you're the one. You have to figure it out as you're growing up. So you have to grow up faster than everyone else. So and I think that's also why I'm saying I'm so glad that my uncle, my aunties were there, my grandparents were there, because sometimes you need to vent. Sometimes you need an outlet. And as much as they might not have an answer for you, at least they give you that space to be able to air out whatever it is that you need to speak. And as you air it out, you figure it out also. So being there for my mom, being there for my sister, then now you get into the workplace and you also have to figure things out. You have to figure life out. I hear some people saying adulthood is a hood that I never subscribed to. Well, no one subscribes to it, but you just have to get into it at some point. And firstborns, I think, have to get there faster.
I know.
Yes, so that you can lead even for the ones who are following you.
Well, I'm glad I'm not a firstborn. At least I am the 4th.
Yes.
So kuna wale walikuwa mbele yangu. I was learning from them, looking up to. I was like, now like your little sister. Kuna big bro. He'll direct you, you know. But it's an interesting one. So one more thing about what you do. Tell me some of the, because I know it's been a journey for a number of years. So tell me maybe 2 things. Number 1, anything that, as an event, maybe in the course of mentorship and everything, that kind of took a toll on you. And then one beautiful thing you look back and always say, I'm glad I do this because of this. Okay,
so for me, I think that not really a main event, but most of the time, some of the things that we hear from the young people, especially to do with sex and sexuality. Even as I was going through the book, the Dear Parent book, the addictions part, the sexual abuse part, I remember I was talking to a mutual young girl, Abigail, and I was telling her, where's the portion on sex and sexuality? And she was like, I'm not so sure. But you can see sex and sexuality playing out in each of the sections from the book.
Yeah.
So the stories that we hear, I would tell anyone who can get hold of the book, please get a hold of it. The stories that are in there are some of the stories that we hear, and it just breaks our hearts. So how these young people are handling sex and sexuality, and mainly because their parents do not talk to them about sex and sexuality.
Sana, sana.
So for me, I've walked that walk, and by God's grace, I was able to abstain until I met my husband.
Bless you, sister. Bless you.
So, and it's by God's grace. And a big part of it is that my mom was a nurse. So she had zero chills talking about sex and sexuality. She would just talk to me about it. I think it gave me that confidence of just knowing, okay, so I'm not supposed to do this, I'm not supposed to do that. So even in high school, when people would come from holidays and say, oh, I had sex with so and it was so awesome, I'd be like, so the first person I would go to ask is my mom.
Yeah.
Like, is it really that awesome? Is it, okay, so what do you do with this? My friend is going through this, how does that happen? So just encouraging parents, please be the first person who speaks to your child about sex and sexuality. And sexuality in this sense is not sexual orientation. It's not, we're not talking about the alphabet, LGBTQIA. We're not talking about that. We're talking about sexuality is the way God made you a boy or a girl, and it is a wonderful thing. You should appreciate it and you should respect it. So those are the conversations that I would have with my child. And I'm not seeing that going, the generations are changing. Information is out there. Parents also need to change and share that information with their children. They have to be the first source of information.
Yes.
Or whatever the first source of information is for that child when it comes to sex and sexuality, that's the place they will go back to. When they start struggling with hormones, when they start struggling with emotions. So those are the things that we have seen in ministry that break my heart. So sometimes you hear those stories and you go home and you have to decompress. And you're like, wow. I remember the first time I had a boy tell me I was sexually abused by my brother.
Sure.
First of all, you keep quiet. And then one of the other things we are taught is you have to be unshockable. So you go like, imekushoku kwa ndani, lakini you go like, okay, so how are you? You know, the first time I was told by a girl who had gone through college, I'd done ministry with her, and she tells me I was sodomized by my boss.
Shoot.
Those are the things we hear, and it breaks your heart.
It does.
And you ask them, have you talked to your parent about it? Nope. So those are the things that break my heart. Yes, in ministry. When you talk to a child and then you see them get it and get out of that place where they were, that's a highlight.
I know, right?
I have one girl, I am so proud of her. She went through 3 abortions. She used to feel like she was worthless. I remember even a time when she would get into relationships and I would realize you're in a relationship because you're looking for worth. And I would tell her, get out of the relationship. And sometimes it would even be with young men that I knew. And I would have to call those young men on the side and be like, we are calling this off. And the other day, a few years, like 2-3 years back, she also got married. And now she has a child. Just seeing her in that marriage and seeing her flourish. Those are the highlights. When you see now someone has gotten out of that cocoon where they were, where they were like buried, you know, feeling worthless, their self-esteem was gone. And then now their self-esteem is slowly being built up. Their relationship with God is on the right trajectory. They might not be at the place they want to be, but they are getting to a certain place. So those are the highlights from the work I've been doing in ministry.
Return on investment, right?
Yes.
Me, I think sometimes I sit down and I just look back, like you take one specific person, one young person, and you just look at the journey. And you're like, I know of one of my girls who is a mother right now, and she never wanted to have that child, and she was bent on having an abortion, and I talked her out of it, and I chose to walk with her, and we walked the journey. The boy, I think, is around, he should be, actually he started school this year. She even gave me the permission to name the child,
Yeah.
please. Because
Oh,
that's my
nice.
baby. I
Nice.
love that boy. So every time I look at, he's called Amazing.
Yeah.
So I look at Amazing, I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, that's the name we
Nice.
gave him. I look
Yeah.
at him like, God, thank you that I walked with her.
Yeah.
Thank you that we did this.
Yeah.
And she's an amazing mother.
Yeah.
Oh, she's doing so good at motherhood.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I totally feel you. I
Yeah.
totally feel you.
Yeah.
But there's something you've mentioned, and I don't know, I feel I want us to major there,
Yeah.
just on the place of sexuality.
That's okay.
Because there've been cases of parents, they, of course, they don't want to have this conversation.
Yeah.
And like you said, wherever they get it first,
Yes,
that becomes their place
Yeah.
to go to
That's their reference
24/7.
point.
And so these conversations, number one, we've agreed parents need to have them.
Yes.
How early should these conversations begin?
As early as possible. Even when, as early as they can speak and you can speak back, you just tell them, these are your private parts. No one should touch your private parts. We call them the underwears when we were talking.
Can you try? You're making me remember that song. These are my private parts.
Yes.
I love that song. Yes.
And no one should touch them. Because when you even hear those stories about children who it happened to when they were younger, you will realize most of them knew there was something wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
They know there's something wrong with this, but they can't say exactly what it is. So as soon as they can speak and you teach them where your underwear goes, no one should touch you there. You know, even if you feel a tap on the, or someone touches you just like this and it's inappropriate, don't accept someone to touch you. You know, so when you give them that confidence, even if it's 2 years, 3 years old, start having that conversation with them.
Amazing. And I love that your mother was blunt and open to have these conversations with you and to keep you informed, black and white as it is, because that is one thing. I think there's a letter I once saw here of a girl who was into the alphabet family.
Yes.
And she says, for example, she was introduced to it by her auntie who was staying with them.
Yeah.
And another one talks about having gone to high school and learning about sexual orientation in high school.
Yeah.
And making her doubt.
Yeah.
No, she actually was like, am I a girl, am I a boy, or am I bi?
Yeah.
And she had to try have a relationship with a boy, with a girl, and she realizes she's fitting in both.
Yeah.
So she concluded she's bi.
Yeah.
And so her concern was like, Mom, I wish I knew about this from you.
Yeah.
Si kwenda shuleni kujulia huko.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, especially now when they are getting, and I'm glad you said we begin it from as early as they can talk and hear. Because if we are building that, doesn't that mean when they get to teenagehood, it's easy for them to come to us?
Yes.
How easy was it for you to talk to Mom about anything?
Very easy. I would just, I remember there are times I would just call her and be like, oh, this is happening. Hi, I don't think it is right. And she would laugh. It was, I remember even when we were growing up, we used to be told that people in university are the cream of the crop of this country. They're the future, they're the hope. And I went to university and I found people are sleeping with each other, all these things are happening. And I remember, and I called her and I was like, Aki, Mom, if this is the future of this country, we are doomed.
Suffered.
And I remember my mom laughed. As in, we just have such conversation. It was so easy. So you don't form a relationship with your child after they are grown up. You start it from when they are young. And also just telling parents, remember, generations are changing. The generation the now generation, now we are having the Gen Zs. Gen Z has become a thing. But now we have the Gen Alphas. And as of this year, 2025, we are starting the Generation Beta.
Yes.
These generations are becoming more and more vocal. So even you have to become more and more vocal. We need to up. Especially if you're an older millennial or a Gen X and you have a Gen Z or Gen Alpha in the house, you have to up your game and you have to speak. If you're not able to speak, speak to your friends, speak to someone who is going to encourage you and just tell you, how do you start? How do you go about it? Yes.
I've had a case scenario of a young person who she was sexually active. She was still a teenager, but very sexually active. And the mother would say, I have tried to tell her to stop. She has refused. So there's only one thing, Mimi, I don't want to happen. The mother is, I think, in her 40s. There's one thing I don't want to happen. I don't want to be called a shosho in my 40s. So what has the parent done? She's introduced the kids to contraceptives.
Yes.
Talk to me about young people and getting them into such a web at an early age.
So even for us growing up, Nashami, you were told do not have sex.
Yeah.
Were you told how not to have sex? You are just told maybe put boundaries.
Yes.
Say no. How do you set boundaries? How do you say no? And that's the problem that's still continuing. So the organization I work for, I told you we also deal with sex and sexuality.
Yeah.
So we have a program where we teach them that part of setting boundaries is remembering that your body asks for it. Your body asks for it. So we usually tell a story. So the story is a story of how to cook a frog. So how do we cook a frog? Do we just take the frog and put it in hot water and boil it? How do we cook the frog? So if you're cooking a frog, you take a live frog, put it in room temperature water, then take your sufuria and put it on top of the stove.
Yeah.
As the temperature of the water changes, the frog does not realize that it is being cooked. Why? Frogs are cold-blooded. Their body temperature changes with the body of the environment, with the temperature of the environment. So by the time the frog is cooked and dead, it does not realize it. Same goes with us as human beings. You will start slowly by holding someone's hand, know your friends, you're there, you're hugging, kidogo kidogo. You will not hug for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, unless you've set the boundaries, you know. At some point, your body will ask for a kiss.
Yeah.
So we've known this, we've been hugging, we've been doing this, now you want a kiss. You will kiss for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, you're kissing. The next thing, you're petting, you're doing, letting the fingers do the walking, you know. Kidogo kidogo, and then that's what we call the underwear. So kidogo kidogo, you slid into sex.
Yeah.
And that's how some of our friends ended up. Nashami, hi. Imagine it just happened.
Yeah, right.
It didn't just happen.
It just didn't happen.
It was a progression.
It was a progression. True.
From the holding of the hands to the hugging, to the kissing, to the petting, and now into sex. So we need to have that conversation.
Yeah.
You just don't tell them, stop. How do they stop? Stopping means if they have been doing it, then they have to change friends.
Yeah.
They have to break up that relationship.
Yeah.
They have to take up different hobbies. Basically, their whole life has to change. And they cannot do it on their own. Because another thing is, rational thinking has not kicked in anyone under 25. And that is scientific. Your prefrontal cortex has not formed. Before age, it usually forms at around age 23 to 25. It begins around 16, 17, all the way until around 25, 23, 24, 25. So when you're telling your child who is under 25, stop. This is someone who is going on emotions and hormones.
Yeah.
How do they stop?
Yeah.
It's like telling a car that is moving and it does not have, stop. You have to help it.
Yeah.
And helping it definitely is going to break something. They're going to be broken.
Yeah.
They are going to fight. They are going, but you have to be there for the long haul. You can't give up and tell them, okay, take contraceptives so that you don't get pregnant. Because again, those contraceptives might mess up with their their body functions. Yes. So it will take you sitting down, having that conversation, letting them know whatever has happened is not something that wouldn't happen to a normal person. It could happen. And this is the progression of why it happens. Now, for you to be able to stop, you might need to do a few other things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're not working alone. I am working with you. So can I be your accountability partner? Again, you can't be an accountability partner to your child if you don't have a relationship with them.
Hapo kwa relationship. That's where it all begins.
Tunarudi pale.
Everything takes us back there.
Yes.
And how would you what did you tell a parent whose child, daughter, okay, sons too, because this thing takes two to tangle, but whose child is pregnant and they are still teenagers, and your child, maybe they will come and tell you, or maybe of course you will hear, or because mothers are by default doctors, we see, we look at your eyes like, mbona hizi macho, we, are you pregnant? And you're thinking, hiyo mapua kidogo, na mbona umeanza kunaona hii side sana sana. So somehow you find out that your teenage daughter is pregnant. How would that such a parent deal, or how are they supposed to navigate around that?
I will tell them the same thing we are taught when we are being facilitators: be unshockable. it is not the end of the world. It is not the end of the world. We've had friends who got pregnant when they were teenagers.
Yeah.
I had a friend who got pregnant. Immediately we finished Form 4. She got pregnant. And her mom was so angry. You know, as in, it even took effort of us as friends. Sometimes we would even just, tunachanga 50 bob, 100 bob, tunamtumia endo nunue diapers. Because the mom was so angry.
Yeah.
And right now, the son is 25.
Oh, wow.
Who is asking her? Who is telling her anything? The guy is old enough, he's working. He's helping his mom out. It reaches a point where it will not matter.
Yeah.
I've had friends who are chased from church because they got pregnant. And those kids are now big.
Yeah.
The other day I saw one of the children in some competition, international competition. And people were there, oh, congratulations. I'm like, kwanza watu wa kanisa ndio tunakwanga wabaya.
I know,
so,
right?
As a parent, stand with your child. Help them. Again, back to letting them know it could happen to anyone. You just need to say no. What does saying no entail? Drawing boundaries. How do you draw your boundaries? You know, I talked about the steps. We call them the steps of affection. So how do you draw your boundaries? Know that if you're holding hands, your body will ask for the next step, which is hugging.
A kiss.
Because, hugging.
A hug, yes.
So if you're hugging, then your body will ask for the next step, which is a kiss. So knowing that if I draw my boundary on holding hands, I will probably end up in hugging. But hugging is easier to redraw your boundaries than if you draw your boundary at hugging and you know you'll end up at kissing. It's harder to redraw your boundary back to hugging from kissing.
Yeah.
So that's how you draw your boundaries. Help your children draw their boundaries. If they are already sexually active, of which if someone is pregnant, they were sexually active.
Yeah.
Now walk with them.
Yeah.
Is the boy wanting to take responsibility? Walk also with the boy. Get to know them. What is their character? It doesn't mean sasa utaolewa na huyu kijana hapana. Please also let's not get into those ones.
Like you're pregnant, now you have to get married to that man. Because we've
yes.
had cases of people who got married because of that.
Yes.
And it turned out terrible.
It turns out terribly. So just walk with your child. Children are a gift from God.
Amen.
The same way God would walk with you, walk with that child.
That's a beautiful comparison.
Yes, walk with that child. Give them support. At some point, it will bear fruit.
Yeah.
It might not be tomorrow. It might not be next year. It might not be in 3 years. But at some point, it will bear fruit by God's grace.
Because I know of a mother who the daughter got pregnant during COVID just the other day.
Yeah.
So when people were going back to school, she couldn't go back to school because she was already heavy with child.
Yes.
I think she was in Form 3.
Yeah.
How the mother ensured that the girl got her baby.
Yeah.
And she enrolled her to an adult education center. And she did Form 4 the same year she was supposed to do. Man, every time I think of that woman, I celebrate her. And now her granddaughter is started school.
Yeah.
And this one is in campus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dear parents, we will help each other. I want us to briefly go through a letter here on page 29.
29.
It's a letter here of some young girl that wrote to her mother a few issues.
Yeah.
And we'll just try to highlight a few areas of her letter. Let me begin from the second paragraph, actually. She says, it's my dear mother. Now, when I'm writing this letter, I feel like crying. And so if the tears will choose to fall, I will allow them. I literally feel like you do not care for me, like I am some invisible human in your space. You know, when you take care of what you deem big things and overlook small things, it does get to me at times. I feel like you never bother about some little details, and as minute as they may seem, they seem to push me away. Like that last time I told you I had an irritation in my eyes, you just brushed it off. Yes, it might seem as nothing, but I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like from the onset, this is a child that feels left out.
Yeah.
Like mama is absent.
Yeah.
She doesn't feel mom. Because there's a young person who told me here on set, she said, I asked her, how are we? Help us. I told her, help us raise you people.
Yeah.
What should we do? And there is one thing she said that stood for me. Yeah. She said, dear parents, please watch out for even the minute of change that you see in us. Yeah. How, because when we are beginning, you say we begin with them from the very first day as we grow with them. Yeah. If I am walking with my child, is it easy for me to pick some of these things if I'm genuinely working with my child?
Yes. If you're genuinely working with your child, it will be easy. So being genuine is as easy as you've gotten home, put your phone on silent. Put it down. Don't even let it be anywhere in the vicinity when you're having a conversation with your child. If by any chance you are on your phone and your child is talking to you, even just telling them, please, just 1 minute, let me finish this, and then. So when you finish, immediately get back to them. Then you will start noticing. Sometimes you'll even tell them that 1 minute, and then you'll see their faces change. Reaction to
body language.
Okay, I need to tell this person, let me get back to you, let me give attention to my child. So it's being intentional. So intentionality and being authentic with your child also. So sometimes we tell our children, oh, mimi nikiwa shule nilikuwa number 1, number 2, I don't know, I never used to go past number 5, you know, I did this, I did that. But sometimes it's about just telling them your real, true life stories. So when you do that, they'll be like, oh, so it's okay. I can also tell my mom, okay, so you see, then they will tell you. So intentionality and authenticity will help you also catch those small things that are happening in their lives.
Oh, wow.
And also listening to the small stories about, you know, my desk mate today, or you know, my friend did. Sometimes we look at them and we're like, you toto. But to them, it's a big deal. You know, also remembering how it felt for us when we were young. When we were teenagers, when we were in college, how did it? I think sometimes we forget.
I know, right?
Tunasahau. Yeah, and then sometimes we look back at it and then we're like, oh yeah, it happened to me, like in your ujinga. Again, to them, sio ujinga. It is a very big deal. So just help them navigate through it. So as you do that authentically and intentionally, then you will get to catch the small things that are happening in their life. They will even feel more free to tell them to you.
Amazing. Yeah. Wow, thank you for that. So she continues and say, I also feel we are drifting apart with each day, yet I do not know what to do about it. I appreciate that dad drops me to school and picks me up every time we are on break. But I want you to come for me too. My friends always ask me if I'm a child of a single father because you have never been in my school. No, you haven't, mom. Yani she's so sure. I remember when I was going through identity crisis, you were never there for me. I had to guess through life because I felt odd talking to dad about the same. I was exposed to so much that was so wrong. And at some point, I contemplated being bisexual because I was convinced I'm one. I just thank God this never became, because right now we would be talking of something very different. Now, a picture as set up of a complete family, dad and mom. And I remember, I think there's an episode, someone was talking about the role of she used to assume that she's doing everything for her children. She was a single mom. And then when the man came in, it dawned on her there was a gap. And so this girl, well, we appreciate Baba Mtoto, asante sana, for being so present. But mom is absent. I mean, it's one thing to have a mother and to have a present mother. I mean, let's talk about being present, because I mean, being present is not because we stay in the same house. Talk to us about being a present parent, for sure, for sure.
So you have to be available for your children, and it might be in the most interesting of ways. As simple as they want to watch a movie, sit down and watch with them. It might be Moana, it might be Frozen that you watched for the 20th time, but just sit down and watch it with them. For them, when she talks about the small things, those are the small things that they recognize. You are there with them. Sometimes it's calling them to something you are doing. So you might be cooking. Kujo nisaidie kukatakata vitungu. You know, and then you teach them, unajua ukikatakata vitungu, it might make you cry. So you do this and like, oh, that's how you handle it. So they're feeling, oh yeah, you're teaching me something. You're pouring. You're pouring into me. Yeah, you're pouring into me. So it goes both ways. For teenagers, it could even take your teenage daughter and go with her to Chama. aone venye wamama wanasavingi pesa. It might become part of her identity, you know. So availability is, I like the way she said the small things. Sometimes we think it's the big things.
Yeah.
I have paid for you school fees. I have bought things in this house. As I was reading through the book, I saw some letters where children are telling their parents, you are telling me you have done this for me, you have done that for me, I'm a burden to you, I am not appreciative. And to them, that is your responsibility. That is your responsibility.
Because you brought me here, please.
At some point, they'll even tell you, I did not ask to be born.
Yeah.
Kwani niliuliza unizae? I did not ask to be here.
My application.
You know, and we get angry because they have said that. But on some level, think about it. They did not.
They did.
So that is your responsibility. But when you make yourself available, they also become softer to you, more understanding. So you can also share to them and tell them, I really, really wanted to do this, but I am not able to. And they will give you, they'll cut you some slack because they know usually when you are able to, you do it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Sure. Because, man, I really feel for this girl, you know, the way when they're in school, you know, they're with their peers, you know, they have conversations. Now, like this one is being asked if she's a daughter of a single father because mama has never shown up. And there are people, mom and dad, who come always. And then here you are, one parent doesn't show up. I mean, how busy can we be? Picking a child from school. Okay, fine, you might not be able to do it every time, but at least. At
least once in a while.
Yes.
And so I think sometimes also, maybe she's working, she's afraid of asking for some time out from her place of work. But there's something that I've heard being said in some forums, that your place of work, when you die, they will find a replacement.
Very fast.
Very fast for you. But your children will always feel it. Your children will always feel it. So what is that is more important to you than this child? Than this once in a while. It's okay. Hata kama ni leave days and you are saving the leave days for a holiday, let's take one of those leave days. It is okay. Yes.
It will mean the world to that child.
Yes.
Hey, wazazi, tuko tu sawa, Mungu atatusaidia. Anyway, she continues and says, my prayer is that this gap that exists between us will reduce and we can have a space for genuine conversations. Wait, am I reading the right letter?
Yes, yes.
I thought I'd switched. Anyway, please do not be so busy for your only child. No, hold up. Only child. And you're too busy. And our mothers had how many? My mother had 8 of us. And she was very well available to discipline. But she was there.
Yeah. So you can imagine an only child.
An only child.
Who is she talking to or playing with when you're not around?
The very first person we hosted was a teenager, and she was an only child. And she had amazing stories about the life of an only child. The way she's being pampered by default, you know. And then here is another single child.
Who's just alone.
Ouch. Mom. Anyway, she says something that you kind of mentioned. I would rather you even deny me all the luxuries you give me and just be a present parent. That is much more important than all the goodies.
Yes.
I am a girl that needs her mother, who should be her first friend before anyone else. It's interesting that I have this friend in school who comes from a family of 6 children, and how she talks about their bond with her mother and father. It makes me feel bad that I'm the only child, yet I feel all alone. Please, Mom, just be present for me. That is all I ask of you. Take time to have conversations with me. You will know me some more, and I will in turn benefit from this bond. There's something about this generation. They are exposed, they are learned, they are curious, their age allows curiosity, and so they are so exposed. This is a girl that has answers to how she should be raised. And it's not a wayward way. She, like literally, Mom, this is what I want. 1, 2, 3. Sawa, Mom. Now, ukifanya 4, 5, 6. I think we are good. And there's something we talked with a friend the other day about this generation and how informed they are. And how that should be a wake-up call to us, millennial and Gen X parents. Man, we need to, and we have talked about upping our game. Because sometimes these kids come to us and ask us things that we clearly took a blank. Left in our switch off. Like, where, tutonge story baadaye. Fact is, sijui. And sometimes they're asking us things that, of course, they have answers. They just want to hear mom's side of the story.
Yeah.
You know, I know it is this and this.
Yeah.
Chat GTP will
Yeah.
tell me everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if I ask,
Yeah.
Siri will tell me everything, you know. But I want you.
Yeah.
So actually, for me, I feel it's not because they want an answer. They just want to have a conversation.
That is very true. They want to have a conversation and affirmation. They're looking for affirmation.
From the parents.
From the parents.
Yes.
So when some of these questions they ask you, you will realize at their age, you might also have had the same questions. You just never had anyone to ask those questions, because we'd ask those questions and we'd be told, kwa sababu nimesema hivyo ndio iko. So you have an idea, okay, maybe this should be done like this, but so for them, they're looking for you to say, yeah, that makes sense, we can do it this way.
Yeah.
You know. So it is for us to give that affirmation.
Yeah.
So affirm them and tell them, yeah, it's okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, we've never tried that in this family, but maybe we should try and see how it goes. So they're not really, it's not, I think our parents saw it as us challenging their parenting. So they're not challenging your parenting. They might just be suggesting something. So if you have the space, create that space for you to try it out and see how it works. If it doesn't work, you have learned something, they have learned something.
Yeah.
So just create that space to try out those things. And then also, sometimes they are asking out of, they've seen it happen somewhere. So it's also good, as we were saying, when you can catch those small things.
Yeah.
So it's be curious. So when we are doing parenting classes, we talk about something we call the 5 A's. So there's the asking and listening. Basically all the things we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Asking and listening, affirmation, acceptance, availability, and asserting authority. So asking and listening is very, very important.
Yeah.
So as you've seen, this mom might actually think that I give you time.
Yeah.
I listen to you. I am there for you. I affirm you. I have accepted you. But now the child is saying you do not.
Yeah.
So it's very important also to ask questions, because you'll catch, maybe it's in Nakina so and so's family where it is happening. And when you catch that, you will realize then my child is having a problem with our family.
Yeah.
And I need to help them accept this family and where they have come from, and not look at it as something that is bad, but as something that is good. So it's very important to be able to have those conversations and not see it as the children talking back or being too assertive. So just give them that space. Again, there's a friend of mine who when she got her child, she used to call her child Kamutu. And we were having that conversation with some other friends of mine another day, because as parents, sometimes we see our children as extensions of ourselves. Yeah. But they are their own persons. Yeah. They are a kamutu. You're being introduced to a small person. Yeah. So as you would be curious to know about a friend, more about a friend, about someone, a stranger that you'll get, or a workmate or someone, be curious also about your child. Yes.
Amazing. My goodness. It's you know, I've always said this, fine. Some parents insist this particular generation ni kazi. But even from these conversations, we make it kazi because hatujafanya kazi.
Exactly. Na hatutaki kufanya kazi.
Hatutaki kufanya kazi.
We were discussing yesterday with another lady who's a youth minister, and she's having a parents meeting this Sunday. So she was telling me, aki our parents. I was like, it's okay. So parents, funny thing, when we call them for meetings, if we are taking care of 100 children, you know sometimes how we calculate parents meeting is successful? If a third of the parents come.
Oh dear, that is successful.
That is successful. If a third of the parents come, or half of the parents come, then that is successful. Meaning, parents do not want to do the work. They don't want to be available. They want to provide and, yes, protect. But there is more to providing and protecting.
Yes.
So it's do the work. Be available. Be there for your children. Go for the academic clinics. Go for the parents meetings in church. You know, wherever it is that your child is involved. The sports. Be there for their tournaments. Make the time. It is very, very important.
And if there are forums of parents just being enlightened and challenged, especially with the ever-changing dynamics, how will we be updated if we don't attend?
If you're not attending, give your money.
Yes. Because your return on investment.
Yes, lazima.
Yes.
What is 5,000 shillings for a parenting forum?
Of many years that you shape this life.
Exactly. Ama, is your child worth 5,000 shillings?
At all, never. What is that compared to this amazing life?
And the help that you will get from there will help you to make sure this child gets to old age so that you'll be called grandparent, great-grandparent, Yes.
Oh Lord, this is interesting. But I think for me, so far my take home is hapa kwa parenting. Let's just be you said intentional and authentic. Yes. Because if we want to be successful, it's the same way at the workplace. Or even if you're doing business, you're getting into a new venture. You have zero idea, but you have the money and the time to do it. You will invest.
Yes.
And investment, tunasemanga you invest and then at some point it'll break even.
Yes.
So you're breaking even, ukitaka happen fiti, then invest right now. Like just give of yourself, your time. Even as you spend time with your child, wewe mwenyewe jiinvestia kama mzazi.
Exactly.
It's not be lazy parents.
Exactly.
Parents, sina ubaya ni reality check. Because we want you to be the best man, and you're doing well, but you can do better. There's room for better.
And we also understand that some of the parents are coming from a place where they didn't have anyone to mentor them, anyone to show them that this is the way you can be a parent. And when I'm working with young people, especially teenagers, I usually tell them, please be kind to your parents. They are also just figuring it out.
I know.
And the way they brought up your brother is not the same way they need to bring you up, because you're two different personalities. Your hobbies, your everything, your likes are different. So even your parent is learning you the same way they had to learn your brother, your sister, everyone. So just be kind to them. So parents, we understand that we are figuring it out. With every child, we are figuring it out. So just be in that space where sometimes when I'm talking to my friends, I'm harsh to them and I tell them, you're the adult, figure it out.
Yeah, you're the adult in this story, man. True.
Figure it out. Uyu bado hata rational thinking haijaingia. So you're the adult. Please be the adult and just try and figure it out. Yes.
And I'm glad in that statement you have talked to some young people, because man, saa zingine wanaonanga tunafaa tukue super power people. We are some, can figure it all out. And when I'm blinded, then you're like, how?
Why? Yeah.
One young person told me, unajua wazazi wetu pia ni human beings tu kama sisi. Na pia wako tuna ma issues.
It's true.
Kambia,
na ni watoto wa Mungu kama tu wewe.
Kambia una reason vizuri. I wish all of you are reasoning like that. On behalf of us parents. But so as we get to bring this to a close, I just want you to do two things. It's an affirmation moment for a young person. And even for a parent, just two sets of people, even through this camera. Just speak to a young person, then speak to a parent.
Okay. So for the young people, you're figuring life out. You are trying to make your identity. You're looking for it everywhere. I will tell you, whether you have good parents or not. And I know some of you look up to your parents, and as we have just talked from that letter, there are some parents who just don't give of their time. So when you're seeing your parent is busy, please just take them on the side and communicate with them and tell them, I want time. I would need to talk to you about 1, 2, 3. When can you avail yourself? It sounds like it's a business meeting, but saa zingine, that's the language some of our parents understand because of where they have come from. So just take that time, make yourself available, and with time, that relationship will grow. You'll be the one to grow that relationship with your parent. And then also, listen to your parent whenever they tell you about the good things that you need to walk in, the way that you need to walk in. The Bible says, train a child in the way they should go, and in their old age they shall not depart from it. So right now it might not feel good to you, but as you grow older, you will realize, that's why our parents used to tell us 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's why they used to tell us this. So you will be more grateful when you are older about the instruction that your parents are giving you. To the parents, keep giving instruction. Usichoke. Do not get tired. This parenting thing is not for getting tired. I will tell you, the same way my mom tells me, even at 40 what or 50 something, I will always be her child. So you continue parenting, even as your children are growing up, even as they get their own children. Just continue parenting, continue giving of yourself. Just as God our Father gives of himself to us. Please do the same and do not get tired. And may the grace of God help you. And whenever you're getting anxious or worried, or you're seeing your child going astray, remember, do not be anxious about anything. That verse is in Philippians 4. Do not be anxious about anything. But in everything with prayer, supplication, and thanksgiving. After you have prayed and left it in God's hand, give thanks. And the peace of God that transcends all human understanding, may it be upon you.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. Oh, that's an amazing ending. Oh, I'm encouraged as a parent.
Thank you so much.
But thank you so much
Yes.
for having graced this particular episode and just pouring your heart, your wisdom and your knowledge, and just that you understand this generation and you chose to just take us through it. Asante sana.
Asante Nashami. It was such an honor being here. It is such an awesome work that you're doing with parents and teenagers. And thank you for giving the teenagers a platform to just speak out and tell their parents exactly what they need to do. And I am encouraging every parent to get this book.
Yeah, they need to. Muzazi, usiseme hukuambiwa kitabu ni hiki hapa. Dear parent. Actually, it says, dear parent, here is my unspoken. And there is so much. We just read one letter today. There are so many letters here. So when you interact with this, it helps you open up even to just understand this watoto wetu ambao tunawapenda sana. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Once again, it was another enlightening moment, and I'm super duper grateful. Thank you for being our audience, and thank you for taking time to watch mpaka mwisho. Yay, you're that person. And as always, watch, comment, share, and let's get your feedback even on this particular episode. We will definitely see you again next Friday. We are doing this. We are not about to stop. Mugeci ametukumbusha tusichoke. Hatuchoki, tunazidi na kuzidi na kuzidi. God bless you, God keep you, and we will definitely see you again next time. From us to you, peace, and the Lord bless you.